All right, good morning. All
Good
right,
morning.
Classic is here from Sourcewise, our Santa Clara County Area Agency on Aging. We're going to learn about Meals on Wheels today, which is an amazing resource. And I'm going to have you go ahead and get started, Classic. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. I just wanted to make sure. Can everyone see my screen that says Meals on Wheels?
Yes, I
Awesome.
can.
Okay. So I'll just go slide by slide and talk to you a little bit. I'm Classic Cauley, Meals on Wheels director, and also our senior employment director here at Sourcewise. I have been here almost 3 years, not at Sourcewise, but in the Bay Area. Before this, I actually worked for a for-profit that provided workforce development resources for veterans. And before that, worked with transitional age youth in the workforce development piece. So that is a big part of my work history and skill set, workforce development, and Meals on Wheels is just another expansion of, I guess you can say, my personal employment profile. So I will dive into the program. So Sourcewise administers the Meals on Wheels program in collaboration with the county or Santa Clara County residents. Meals on Wheels is a weekly home delivered program for adults 60 years of age or older, regardless of their income. Those who are homebound because of either an illness or disability and have difficulty obtaining food or meals on a consistent basis. And the eligibility requirements are 60 years of age or older, resides in Santa Clara County. They live alone or live with a spouse who is also homebound, and they're unable to perform two or more activities of daily living due to cognitive or physical disabilities. And that could be activities of daily living could be able to cook their own meals or able to bathe themselves or clean their homes, or it could be just able to stand for long periods of time, things like that. Um, let's see. And then I'll go into what that weekly meal delivery looks like. It's 14 balanced meals that are frozen entrees. There are some fresh salads included, some sandwiches or wraps. It just depends what is scheduled on the menu. Snacks and drinks, a loaf of bread, and a half gallon of milk. And all entrees are planned and approved by the Santa Clara County registered dietitian. And then we also have a dietitian that we work with to review all the menus to make sure the nutritional analysis is compliant. Let's see. So after that, the next step would be either usually someone will call our general Sourcewise number and speak with first someone from our information and awareness team. That team is in-house and routes whichever resource a person is calling about, routes them to that department. So for in this example, it would be Meals on Wheels. So they would be connected to a nutrition coordinator who was my staff, and they would complete an actual intake, and which requires them to ask different questions just about their meals, their physical abilities, their living arrangements. And then once that is completed, I know this doesn't go directly into that, but they would be put on a list and added to delivery service. And then once we turn that information in to the meal provider, um, that meal provider would in turn reach back out to our team and let us know which route, which means their delivery day that the person would be scheduled for based on their zip code, because every person is assigned to a territory. And all of our nutrition coordinators are assigned to a territory because 2 weeks after that enrollment, they're required to go out and do a home visit just to verify the information they were given over the phone. They usually just meet the participant at the front door, about 10 minutes, and then also inquire if they are in need of a microwave, which we will provide. We say that we loan them, but we never take them back. So we do provide a microwave if a participant is in need of that and want to make sure that they have also a working refrigerator as well. So after that 2 weeks, we do a 3-month telephone assessment just to follow up and make sure nothing has changed, or if something has changed, um, we're able to update their file. And then after that, 6 months in, there's another home visit just to, I think it's a really great way for us to have face-to-face time with them and just kind of check in to see if anything's changed with their health or just anything with their living condition. Okay, I'll go to the next slide if we're ready. And then we also have an ambassador program. So when our nutrition coordinators are on a call with a participant, they will ask if they're interested. And what that includes is they would receive a call from an ambassador once a week to talk about anything that they want to talk about, just to have someone to take the time to connect and help in combating isolation, loneliness. And then, yeah, they're able to just be signed up and we refer them to that department who partners them with a person we think might be a really good fit for them. So that's another added benefit. One other thing that I didn't include in this slide, let me just go back, is that another resource that we have, there is an organization here locally in Santa Clara County called Televisit. I'm not sure if any of you are familiar with them. Actually, just love, love, love this organization. They have partnered with us and we are able to present their services where participants are able to acquire an iPad and then they're able to participate in different group sessions based on their interests. It could be music, it could be cowboy movies, it could be gardening or dancing, just a variety of topics. And they're placed in a group of individuals with like interest. And they have meetups on the iPad that are scheduled. Televisit actually comes out and brings the iPad to them as long as they have a Wi-Fi network. It works great, and we've gotten really great feedback with that. Just another way to combat isolation. So we found that that is working really well.
We've actually had Wesley speak about that on,
Awesome.
yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, that's really great. So another thing that we do mention to all of our participants about voluntary contribution and assistance. So Sourcewise, Skip, did you have something?
No, somebody's not muted in the background.
Ah, okay. So we do encourage participants that are able to contribute $3 per day or $90 a month for their weekly home delivered service. If they're unable to contribute, we still accept any amount. If that amount is zero, that's fine. They would still receive their meals no matter if they're able to provide a contribution or not. So they would never be denied any meal service if they're not able to contribute. And let's see. So these are some common questions that we have that I'll run through, and then you all are definitely welcome once I get to the last slide to ask any questions. Can the delivery driver drop the meals off outside my front door? That is something we cannot do. We can't drop off meals. It's against our policy. Someone needs to be home to accept the meal. So we cannot risk our clients' health by leaving uneaten or unrefrigerated food because it is delivered on a temperature regulated truck. And yeah, just for safety reasons, food safety reasons, we're required to make sure that it has to be delivered to someone. Next question is, what if I won't be home on my delivery day? They would need to contact Sourcewise at least 48 hours in advance to notify us that they won't be home, and then they can skip a meal delivery for that week, and then we would just resume as usual. So we have a really great system here with my team and how we submit data back and forth to the meal delivery company. So we're able to keep track of those things. And we have people calling every day requesting to put a meal on hold for a couple of weeks, or if they are in the hospital, or just different life things, if they're traveling, with family, whatever it might be. If they need to put the meals on hold, we're able to do that for up to 3 weeks as well. What happens if I miss my delivery? If you miss your delivery, it will be counted as a non-delivery. There are allowed 2 consecutive non-deliveries before the service gets canceled. And I will tell you, in a lot of cases, some people get more than 2. A lot of times I see 4 in our reports because we really try. And sometimes it's because, something has happened and we're not made aware. So then we kind of have to explore, and then we find out from a family member or from that participant that they were ill or traveling, forgot to call us. And then it's just the meal is reinstated. So that keeps our team pretty busy as well. And then let's see, I want to share a few additional resources, and I can also share an updated resource list as well, because I haven't updated this one in a while. But I know Second Harvest Food Bank, they do provide groceries delivered to the client's home, but I believe they're not accepting any new clients currently. You also have the Vietnamese American Services Center, VASC. They deliver within a 4-mile radius. So there's like a zip code list, and it's a delivery of hot Vietnamese meals, fruit and milk. And then there's PASO, the Portuguese Organization for Social Services and Opportunities. Actually, let me correct myself. PASO, VAS delivers within a 4-mile radius. PASO actually has the zip codes that they deliver, and these are Portuguese meals that are delivered hot daily as well. And then there's also Mom's Meals for Kaiser patients. So the interested party would have to get this service through their physician. And then the other thing that I did not mention is we do have therapeutic meal options. So for those that are looking for heart healthy or diabetic focused meals, they fit under our therapeutic category. So we do have that as well.
And I believe Kai also has meal delivery.
Yes,
They,
yes. That's why I said I need to send you an updated list, because there are other resources.
yeah, Kai's the Japanese facility.
Yes, that is correct. And then let's see what else. This is the best way you can reach our department directly. And then for those that, are computer savvy and can go online or use their phones, they can book through our website as well. And then I will also just briefly go over a few of our other resources, and then I am almost at conclusion here. So we do have, of course, the nutrition that we're talking about here. We have a caregivers network. We have health that focuses on Medi-Cal and other health insurance, counseling, supportive services, such as like case management, workforce development, advocacy, and isolation and inclusion. We have a digital inclusion team that goes out actually to community centers, senior centers, and provides digital literacy training. So that's another component. And in total, Sourcewise has 18 different programs this is just a small sample of what we have. And in our South County down in Morgan Hill, they provide transportation to older adults to um, your local grocery stores and also for shopping and also for doctor's appointments as well. And I'll show this. Online people are able to donate to Sourcewise to help fund our Medicare counseling and advocacy, Meals on Wheels for seniors, family caregiver support and respite, um, information and referral services, and transportation services. And this is our final page. You might want to take a picture of if anyone needs any of these services or just want to have us as a resource. These are all the best ways to make contact. And then, of course, here via our social media as well is another way to stay connected with us. And that will conclude my presentation. Does anyone have any questions or any feedback? And before we do that, I will add, currently for the first time, Sourcewise has been a AAA here in Santa Clara County since 1973 for over 50 years. And this is the first time, unfortunately, that we have had to enact a wait list. I think some of the federal changes are definitely, although Meals on Wheels, we have not had funding cut, fortunately, but because of other cuts, we're seeing that there's more needs. So it's definitely impacting our program and just bringing more and more of a need.
So can you
If we could,
define what what you mean by wait list? Is that just for Meals on Wheels or for any services?
No, it's just for Meals on Wheels for now.
Okay.
Yes, just for now. We've had that enacted since November, but are now starting to look and prioritize. And we do look at things like, well, there's a number of things that we look at working with our registered dietitian to see if any persons are able to be, I'm trying to think of the best word, how we prioritize criteria based on their age, if they're 75 plus, if they're homebound or bedbound, living alone, if there is physical or mental impairment, if they have lack of consistent help, if they're at risk for food insecurity or nutrition, malnutrition, things like that, help us to be able to prioritize. So that's the phase that we're moving into now, so that we can start moving people up based on
So is this wait list caused by a decrease in funding to the entity that's creating the meals to be distributed? Or is it, what is it? What is it?
it is.
And so if there's a decrease in funding for those entities to create the meals,
Mhm.
there's a deficit. So is there some sort of a mechanism in order from a philanthropic angle to make up for that?
We are trying. We're trying, to get private funding. And we also have an amazing partner, Loaves and Fishes, who
Yeah.
did get additional funding for a while and were able to take on like 60 people. So now they have a wait list. And this is what's happening across the county is once people have exhausted or extended additional help to other organizations. We're working as teams trying to figure this out to make sure people are being fed, and we're seeing that everyone's being stretched.
they're
So,
working primarily on private donations.
well, yeah, I mean, it's a new space to be in.
Well,
And
it's something that we can identify, and if we have that identified, we can present it to our foundations that we have at as our resources. So we
we
have a lot of private philanthropic foundations. And then, and if there's a need, maybe we can find somebody to fill it.
That would be amazing, Julie. We should talk further.
Yeah.
Definitely, definitely.
Joseph has his hand
Joseph,
Yeah,
up.
go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, first of all, I'd like to thank you because my mom was on Meals on Wheels before she passed away, just before the pandemic. My question may be a moot point now because you have a waiting list. I was
Right.
going to ask, is the program ever or in the future that people are temporarily the qualification that you mentioned that qualify,
mhm.
they need the service. But I have seen quite a few of individual. I live in the villages. Some of the people they are fully functional normally, but for example, some people had a fall, they have a temporary setback. What I was
Mhm.
going to ask, is there something temporary until they fully functional, they can perform all the six tasks or whatever you call them. So.
If it's during that particular time frame that they need help, and then once they're able to, um, I guess they no longer have that physical disability, then they would not qualify for the program. So then once we would sort of come back and do an assessment, we
Mhm.
would determine that they no longer qualify. But during the time that they need the service and they qualify, yes,
I see. So they will come back to do the reassessment. Then if they
yes,
fully functional, they will off the program.
yes.
Okay. So, but currently, since you are in a waiting list, that would not help because I know the few individual in the villages, they failed, they booked whatever, booked the limbs, hips or whatever during that time. In fact, I belong to. One of the club in this particular happened to be Chinese club of the villages. So a
Mhm.
few of us, just delivered, we cook our meal and deliver the help out during that period. So I was wondering if Meal and Will has such a program, but since you're on a waiting list, that probably wouldn't help in those
No, not
situations.
immediately.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right,
I can
right, right,
understand
right.
that,
Yeah, yeah,
unfortunately.
right.
That's the one thing that changed because we booked this
Hmm.
presentation last year and we weren't in that situation at the time. And I was super excited. And,
Yeah, right.
I still am excited and love the program, but it's unfortunate that we're in this space where we're having to
Yeah,
put people on a wait list.
right. Okay, yeah, thank you.
You're
Well,
welcome.
and Joseph, the other thing that Classic mentioned is that Kaiser has resources for meals.
Hmm.
And anybody that's in recovery from any type of a medical situation, they
Yeah.
have resources. And so it's really good for us to know about that
But that you have
too.
to be a Kaiser patient, though,
We
Well,
right?
I
do.
mean, yeah, but Palo Alto Medical has it, Stanford has it, everybody has it.
Yeah.
Everybody
Okay.
has those resources. So
Hmm.
it's just good for us to know. So I'm glad she had that on the list. Yeah. Jan?
Oh, hi. Just was wondering, uh, um, is the Sourcewise program only in Bay Area, or do they have it in state like Oregon?
Sourcewise is only in Santa Clara County, California, but there are other AAAs who provide similar services, area agencies on aging. If you look for in your state of Oregon for your area agency on aging, and usually they're connected with, or you can try the California Department of Aging, CDA. That is another resource to guide you to find resources for older adults.
Oh, I see. No, I
Mhm.
don't live in Oregon, but I have
Oh,
friends in Oregon, family
gotcha.
in
Gotcha.
Oregon. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
You're very welcome. See, any other questions or
Anybody else have any questions?
on your meals that you have certain requirements like the heart healthy or low sodium or whatever. Is
Mhm.
there any special arrangements that have to be made to do those, or is it set up
Yes.
on the initial consultation?
Yes, that is
Mhm.
something that is discussed on the initial consultation, but the participant will be provided a sort of a consent form that they have to have filled out from their doctor. Because our nutrition coordinators, they're not nutritionists. They, of course, all have to take nutrition courses and things like that we do to keep them updated and food safety, all those things. But we have to have consent from their doctor in order to be able to provide those meals, just as a safety precaution and make sure that we're following their medical plan.
So do the people have any choice in what meals they get? Is there like a menu to select, or they just get whatever you give them?
Well, there is a menu that has a variety of different types of meals for each day, but they're not able to like go in and select, oh, I'll take this, so I'll take that. They're not able to do that, unfortunately, because I think last year we served over 600,000 meals and with 7 routes. So that's 7 different drivers all across the county from north to south county. There was just no way that we could accommodate that type of request. It would be
And
wonderful.
how many participants do you have?
Uh, let's see, our last count was about 14, a little over 1,400.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah, and that's just now, but I mean, we've had up to over 16 last year. So it fluctuates because some people come off the program for a little bit and might come back on. It depends, or it might be someone new, but it definitely fluctuates.
Who's doing the cooking?
There is a service provider trio who's actually a couple miles from our Santa Clara County office here,
Yeah, that's what I
and they
thought.
have a full kitchen staff, just everything you could think of. The delivery trucks that are branded, so people are not having someone drive up in a white van and they're, freaking out, not knowing, but it's actually branded with our Sourcewise logo and their trio logo as well.
Well, it just comes to mind. I'm just thinking, so if you have a wait list and
Mhm.
there's a bubble of patrons that need service
Mhm.
and they're at capacity, there's other there are other resources in the area that can be reached out to. So I'm gonna
There
have to
are,
look into
and we
that.
do. My
And
team
and do you
provides them.
yeah, are you able to refer families to the other resources?
We do. My team is well equipped with that information, and we provide, especially if they're looking for something in particular. Sometimes people are looking for a specific cultural type meal, to fit their taste. So we refer them there. Um, the challenge I'm seeing with um, our audience is that they are homebound. So many of them can't get out and go and get meals because there are groceries that are provided by some other resources, groceries, things like that. But if they're not able to prepare the meals,
Yeah,
that or get out and get the meals, that's just, it doesn't make sense. So we
yeah.
try our best to refer them to something as similar to our service as possible.
Avery,
Uh-oh, did we lose
what
Avery? I
happened
think,
to Avery?
okay.
I'm back.
Okay,
I'm
yeah,
sorry. I don't know
Don?
what happened.
there you are. Now you're muted again. There you,
Yes,
go
sorry.
ahead.
But thank you for the presentation.
You're welcome.
I was actually wondering about Meals on Wheels last week. Uh, so the meal planning is approved by the dietitians.
It is.
Is the goal to meet the full caloric need every day, or is it just as much as possible and then, hopefully the participant is able to supplement it with
Um,
something else?
no, it's to meet the daily. It is based on the nutritional analysis that the dietitians work to meet. And that information is provided on the menus, as far as, what the sodium intake is, what other nutrients are included, and what the caloric total should be. So it's definitely included there.
Thank you.
Great
You're welcome.
question. Thank you,
That
Avery.
was a great question.
Yeah. Jan. Jan, did you have another question?
No. Let me ask you, what's AAA stands for?
Oh, it's Area Agency on Aging.
Oh, I see. Okay, thank you. That's all.
Welcome.
Oh, hello. I'm Lynn, and I'm sorry. I've been just in and out of calls. Today's a crazy day, but it's Meals on Wheels. And I'm sorry if you already answered this question. What are the qualifications of, is it an age or income or both?
No income requirement. I'm going to pop the eligibility requirements up. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Those are the eligibility requirements. So we never concern ourselves with their income. It's only
Oh,
based.
okay.
Mhm.
Okay, got it. Okay, so basically, and is this a county funded program?
This is a federally funded program.
Oh,
Yes. And
okay, all right.
this one is actually, I misspoke that. This one is funded by the county,
Okay,
and we're in partnership with the county.
okay.
So yes.
Yeah, I think one of my neighbors used to volunteer, I believe,
Oh.
on for Meals on Wheels, and if we do want to volunteer, what is the requirements for that? Like age,
You
and
you would reach out to us directly, and we do have a department that handles everything in regards to community development, volunteers, and there is a process. So
I see for
definitely,
training and all that, right?
of course, but
Okay.
our location here,
Uh-huh.
we do not, our team is in-house handling all the admin side of it. So we don't do the actual food delivery. We have a company that handles the food delivery portion and meal preparation, all of that. So Sourcewise definitely loves volunteers. We have so many other departments. So don't shy away if you're definitely
Oh,
open.
okay. Oh, I see. So the Meals on Wheels specifically already has a staff to prepare and to drive the meals.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
gotcha.
I know
Okay.
some organizations do have volunteers do that, but we have a company that
Mm-hmm.
provides those meal deliveries. Like I said, we're serving all of Santa Clara County, so we have about
It's a
7 routes, and they
Yes.
work from 8 to 5 p.m. delivering meals all over the county. So
Which kind of makes sense because it's kind of like volunteers, you're not always like for sure they're going to show up. So you
yes,
probably need like more committed individuals. So that makes sense.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
So, across the country, the Area Agency on Aging, agencies in all municipalities can be found on your county or city websites, mostly counties. And so, like Jan, with her family members being in Oregon, whatever county that they're in, they can go to that county's website, and in some fashion, there's probably a link to their aging population services. And Sourcewise, we're so lucky and privileged to have Sourcewise because it is very comprehensive and the services for this segment. So and so much more than the Meals on Wheels. Um, we've had the the HIPAA people. His name just flew right out of my head, but he's been with us and has had a great conversation with talking with us about people and of the availability of having people talk to somebody about their health insurance.
Mhm.
That's high cap, not
Yeah,
HIPAA.
high cap,
Yeah, high
yeah,
cap.
HIPAA.
Was it
See?
Marcelo?
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
our high cap director. Yes,
yeah,
he's
high cap.
fantastic.
And
That's in
yeah,
one of our recordings.
yeah. And just all the resources. So all of this information classic is just making my mind go nuts because I'm like, okay, well, if you have a shortfall on money, well, we need to find a solution for that. That's all
Oh
I'm
my gosh, absolutely.
well,
Absolutely.
Well, those of you that are CSAs, last week we had our CE class on the AAAs and the Older Americans Act, which funds the
Yes.
AAAs. So
Mhm.
you have to understand the AAAs are all over the country. They're a
Yes.
quasi-government organization, and the Older Americans Act does the funding, which flows into the states, which
Yes.
in turns flows down to each individual AAA for their programs.
That is correct. That is correct. I mean, fortunately, the Older Americans Act, we were cut, but we see so many other cuts that are happening in other areas of human service, and it just trickles down. So we're looking for more solutions. So I appreciate anyone that, you know, has a connection or open to those conversations.
so I just made another connection in my head too about us as we're seniors real estate specialists. And so when you are out in the community or your agents of Sourcewide like Trio delivering meals. So
Mhm.
if you see at-risk uh, people in
Mhm.
their homes,
Yes.
is there a mechanism for that?
Protocol is they reach out to us, and then we in turn reach out to the caregiver or any family member. If we feel that the person is in danger, then my team is trained to file a report. Um, I'm having a brain fart right now,
I
but
know, right?
there is an agency that we reach out to file a report if we feel a person is in danger um, immediately.
Adult
So
Adult
absolutely.
Protective Services.
Thank you.
Adult,
APS.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah,
Yes.
that'd be the one. But
Yes.
because
So,
And the reason why it connects is because for us and our interactions with the families in their
mhm.
homes, we make observations too. And
Oh yeah.
having this information in our source as a resource, we can
Hmm.
make recommendations to families that might be able to use this service or
Oh
any
yeah.
services at Sourcewide. So as seniors real estate specialists, we want to be able to recognize that and look for situations where a family or family members are at risk.
And I mean, a great example is our fall prevention program. We do have a team that'll go out and do an assessment of the home and see if there are risks, and then provide different things such as grab bars or ramps, things like that. So
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, it's amazing how one team can go out and provide a service and are trained to notice other things and may see, other risk factors or other needs. And sometimes people will call here for Meals on Wheels, but they've already been in contact with our high cap team or our fall prevention or some of our case managers and have an assigned case manager to help walk them through whatever, challenges or barriers they're facing. So it's
And
it's
one of the things
great.
we provide as a resource is opportunities and different types of solutions for families that are facing all kinds of these challenges.
Hmm.
And the number one thing that we help preserve and protect is their real estate, the roof over their head, their home. That's
That's
what we do.
amazing. That's
So,
amazing.
yeah, this is all really great information for us.
Yeah, well, thank you all so much for having me and understanding how important all of these resources are and how they interconnect with keeping people in their homes. And that is like one of the main goals here is to help people navigate the process to stay in their homes and stay healthy.
Exactly. John, did you have a question?
No.
Okay. Just checking. Just checking. Does anybody have any more questions or comments?
Well, I'd just like to point out that I've got another SRES class coming up next month. It's hosted by the Santa Clara County Association of Realtors this time, and the price range is a little bit different. They have an early bird special of $149 by the end of the month, and then it jumps to $179. But for already SRES designated people, you get to retake it for $50. So it's a pretty good deal. That's the 24th and 25th of next month.
Live virtual.
Yeah, Joseph was just through my class last week.
Thank you, Joe. Good job. Ta-da. Classic, thank you again so much for your time and the information. I'm looking forward to lots more engagement with you in the
Yes,
future. And because there's just a lot going on, right?
there is. There is. Yeah, but we're here for that very reason, to find solutions and, do the best we can in the midst of it. So,
Awesome.
yeah,
All right, well,
thank you.
I'm gonna let you go, and then we'll stay here because I got a few other things that I can talk with the group. Thank you so much. We're gonna come visit soon, Classic, okay?
You should. Thank you so much. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Skip.
Thank you.
Okay, take care, everyone.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Julia, no song? I'm so glad we had this time together. Nothing?
Oh my gosh, that
Have a
just
good week, everybody.
I
Julia, I'll
wasn't
talk to you later.
done talking.
What about
Are
next
are you
week?
talking? Nobody's
Next
talking?
week. Next week.
Next week. What are we doing next? We don't know what we're doing next week because the person that we had for next week is not able to make it. So I have a couple of requests out for next week, and so it'll be a surprise. And
Huh. Julia, I'll talk to you later. I got to talk to you anyway. All right.
yeah,
Bye.
all right. Okay, and I will say again, welcome to Amy. Amy is our newest participant. Hi, Jessica. Jessica, meet Amy. Amy, meet Jessica. Jessica is my colleague from Central California, from Santa Barbara area. Amazing.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I have
That's okay.
my sister Julie on the other line.
Ah, I love that name. It's fabulous. Well, we have a few minutes here, so I'm going to have Amy do an elevator speech. It's networking.
Put her on the spot.
Okay, well, I haven't quite put my elevator speech together yet. I'm
That's okay.
still working on that. In fact, I just finished reading a book for the senior call. I think it was the book club. I don't know if anybody does the
Wealthy and well known. That's in our book club right now. Yeah.
Yeah, I just was reading that book and working on the elevator pitch and all of the parts that go in that book.
Good job.
Yeah. So, and again, I'm just starting this year to put this together, so I may have to get back to you on the elevator pitch. I'd love to hear somebody else's.
You just take your time. The building of an SRES business, the senior home coach business, certified senior advisor business is the long journey. This is the long game. Nothing happens quickly.
It's the Chinese water torture. One
We're
drip
in
at
it
a
for
time.
the long game. That is the path of our senior homeowner and the families of senior homeowners as well. Um, I will say since you're new to this group, I'm gonna introduce John and Avery to Amy because John is a fiduciary. Avery is a fiduciary. They're not realtors, they're not SRES, but they are integral parts of what it is that we do when we serve seniors and the families of seniors.
Well, technically, real estate agents are fiduciaries
Yeah,
too. So we're all fiduciaries.
yeah, yeah. We
So
have
is
a,
that, you said John and Avery? Is that who you were
there's
speaking
John,
about?
say
Yeah.
hi.
Okay. And so what are your pieces in this puzzle?
Oh, I'll make them do their elevator speech.
Sure.
So, all right, I can go first. So, I am by trade a daily money manager. So, I will help seniors really kind of a wide range of services. So, starting with making sure they're financially organized, they're budgeting well, they are maximizing their cash flow, and there's a process for budgeting, tracking against it, and making sound decisions against that budget. But to me, those tools are a means to an end and make bigger decisions. So if a client is getting to where it is making sense for additional care, whether it's home care, whether it's assisted living, and that's now going to involve a real estate transaction, then I'm there to build off of their baseline budget and model different financial scenarios so that the decision as to what care they're going to have next is certainly based on health, certainly has an emotional impact, but they don't just look for the incrementally best deal. They're looking for the best deal in the context of what they can afford and what the impact of each decision is on their overall budget. So I'm also a real estate investor on the side, so that's what got me interested in this group. So the intersection of working with seniors and and real estate.
Avery.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go. I am a licensed fiduciary, but by education and by experience mainly. But I actually focus on strategy for the adult children and family caregivers and consulting with them. So when we're not exactly sure what mom needs or the caregiver is overwhelmed, that was where I started from. I got the colloquial call, and then that's how my journey started. And so I aim to help people where they were in the same place. They get the call, mom fell, what do we do now? And so it's help coordinating between people like you, if the house needs to be sold, or other CSAs, stuff like that.
That's amazing and so integral into what it is that we do to provide the service. Amy, real quickly, tell us what part of town in Chicago you're at. How's your market?
So I am local in Evanston, so just north. I don't know if anybody's familiar with Chicago, Chicagoland area. Evanston's the first city north of the city. And then the North Shore and Northwest suburbs would be my main focus area. What was the second part of your question?
How's the market?
The market is pretty tight. We have been short of inventory for years now. So most things that come on the market go very quickly, at least in the areas that I'm in. Downtown Chicago, certain pockets are different stories. There are some that'll stay on the market longer, but inventory, I would say, is our main issue right now.
Yeah, we have that problem here. We have it's so
No,
pathetic. It's
and for a
terrible.
long time, it's been
It's ridiculous.
after like 2021, I would say, is when things just started. All the buyers came out like crazy, and it's not quite as bad, but it's still going to it's very common to have multiple offers and at asking if not over. So.
Anybody else got anything to say about the market right now? Everybody's so chirpy about it.
Is everybody else from the California area that's on here?
I'm looking at the screen here. Pretty much, yeah, everybody, yeah, we're all California people right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you see me or can you hear
Yeah,
me?
hi Carlos, go
I'm
ahead.
calm. Right. So, nice to meet you. What do you think is that Chicago and here we are lack of inventory? What is the main reason?
The lack of inventory, I would say we're not, well, I think it's a combination of things. I think people are able to stay in their homes longer now, whether it's because they're aging and aging more healthfully and not having to move. I think the lack of inventory kind of keeps them from finding places that they would go to if they were going to downsize. There's nothing to downsize to. And then, of course, for a lot of people that have rates that are 2, 3, so low, it's hard to rationally leave that to take on a higher rate. So I think as we see rates come down a little bit, I think we may see some more options on the market. And I think as people start to come more comfortable with the fact that rates are not going to get ever back to where we were before, they may finally just decide to make that move. But I think for my particular area, that's a huge part of it. We're not seeing the turnover that we used to see.
This is such a unique situation for me. I've been a realtor for 49 years, and back in the 70s, mortgage rates were around 18%. And, 6%. I mean, I'm laughing myself crazy because people don't know what a high mortgage rate really is because I didn't live through that time.
And everybody's got their own perspective on the rate conversation because it's so specific. Every family, every conversation, every reason, every challenge. If we're talking to first-time buyers and they're just concerned with and dealing with the rate, I have to correct them on their perspective and start to re-educate them. Rate is just a fact and it has to be worked into the math. Doesn't matter what the number is. You have to be prepared, whatever the number is. It just is what it is. So, and people waiting for it to be something in the future or pining away because it was something in the past, are stalling their moving forward because they're stuck,
I think that's so right, Julie. It's like you can't get stuck on this is how it used to be.
Yeah,
It's like you'll never move forward.
exactly.
I think that like what I see, because still we're trying to help people understand, we're educating them, right? And I've recently I got a referral for somebody that needed an agent. Actually, they said she wants an all cash offer. This is an 80-something-year-old recently widowed in Washington, and she does want to move into senior living, but oh gosh, Skip helped me with this. Skip, when I want to tell you the scenario here, because what happened was I got from one of the partners, Mark and I have this woman, she wants to move in, and that company is to get them to move in. Like, do you have enough money and get them? But they need a real estate agent. So I talked to this woman, they go, hey, people that do all cash, will do an all cash offer. And I go, okay, I'll call her. It's not what she wanted. She was concerned about getting funded when she sold her house. Like, she has no experience in this. And I said, there was all these other things that happened. Like, she was going to her community and they said, oh, well, after the first, it's going to be more than $600. So, and she had like 24 hours to make the decision whether she wanted to put a deposit. I'm like, that's nothing you do to an 80-year-old woman. That's terrible. And I said, she called me in a panic because we had built a rapport. And I said, well, that's nothing to do to you. And I go, maybe you want to put a deposit on the waiting list, but you can't make that decision now. You haven't even listed your property. Furthermore, you don't know what you're going to do with that money that you get and how to invest it. I said, because you don't even know. I asked her what the rates were for assisted. She was going in the independent section. And she goes, well, I don't know. I go, well, I think based on what you told me, it's probably about 5 grand today. Today. I don't know. We don't know what it's going to be 3 years from now. You need to know what you're going to do with your money and invest it. So Skip connected me with somebody that connected me, and she met and visited the woman in person. So she can get stable. And that's where it takes a village.
Yep.
She needs to get the guidance with trusted partners that have her best interest in mind and are all working with each other. That's what I love about this group. That's what I love about the senior home coach. That's what I love is like, it's like everybody's kind of checking everybody and also get to meet other people and resources through the process. But my point being is that what's going on with the market is, well, you have like your 80-year-old baby boomers, right? And I think this is what my head says is like you got these monster homes that nobody wants. Children don't even want them. And are we going to start seeing some shared housing, some kind of because we need to do something, right? So there's going to be some new models that are coming out. And the Front Porch is a big assisted living community company, as you know. And in the Bay Area, they have a matching people in their homes, their own homes, right? Even their assisted living company,
Yeah, they have it. It's in Marin County and Solano County. We don't have it yet here in Santa Clara County. I'm contacting them because we got to make that move it around, move it around. Do they have it in your county?
No, I think they're just starting in Northern California, I
Yeah.
think is kind of where the start is. But you have to see like from there's this whole system is like we need to get like 211 needs to get more this is multifaceted. 211 has to be more organized for people so that they can get support. Human resources in companies,
I know.
your EAPs, they have
It's
to get
exponential.
yeah, because there needs to be more and more support because this is so fragmented and so confusing.
Mhm.
What it comes down to is a lack of financial clarity, is a lot of it
Exactly.
has to do that. So I think leading with financial clarity can get people to like say, like, who do I trust to have like ask these questions?
Yeah, and it does come down to like how the media presents whatever market is, how's the market and what the media says and what they said on TV today, on what did Channel 2 say about the market today. That's all they hear. And then we have conversations with them and we're like, no, you
We
know.
we we call that investment pornography. It gets you all excited and riled up and everything, but it can be damaging if it's used wrong.
Something that having these kinds of conversations and having this kind of interaction, um, and learning things like from Classic, from Sourcewise, and so in the East Bay, um, the Area Agency on Aging. Okay, so I know there is a really good one in the East Bay. And the name just flew right out of my head. But all of our counties have similar, if not almost the same services available to us, and which I think just having that connection and that resource just helps us do our jobs better. And by having this conversation just helps us do our jobs better too. I don't know. What do you guys think?
So to follow up with Amy, I was thinking just now that you were talking, if we could come up with a list of 55 plus communities where people can go, because the reason is, like Amy was saying, where should I go? Where to go, right? And sometimes it's not about moving out. It's about staying at home and accommodating them to stay at home, because this is not about being greedy. This is about him, right? So the best resource for them. That's my 2 cents.
Well, one of the aspects we call it's aging in place. It's antithetical to the real estate business, but guess what? We're SS. This is what makes us better and different and unique and just a higher and better choice for a family to choose to collaborate with and to work with to face challenges as a family. So aging in place, I mean,
Yeah, but
and
that's what you have to lead with here. I think that's what the industry doesn't do is they don't lead like family first.
right.
Family first and like lead with family first rather than I've seen this over the years with senior living and home care, and it's like this holistic approach, and they're not patient centered, they're not people centered. Like, I mean, I see the stress going on all the time, and I think that what we have to go back to, because we're dealing with the sandwich generation, is to lead with family first. Let's get your family and all your thoughts and your things and your fears, and let's to tackle that, and then see what the right decision is for you without leading, and I think that's what you guys are trying to do or are
Yeah.
doing, is
Yeah.
leading with, your situation or situation, no, but the situation. I mean, we're going there's such a variety, when you talk about 55 and plus and then 65 and plus, and now we're dealing with 85 and plus. It's a really important piece to this is like what is going on with the family at this stage? What stage are they at? You gave me that book, The Stages, Not Ages.
Ages, not ages. Yeah.
And I really kind of said that that's how we have to start looking at, or even when you're like meeting with a family, understanding exactly what stage they're in rather than what age they are. Yeah, I thought it was great.
I don't know if I can get, oh,
I see
anyway, that's another part of our book club, Amy. We got
it.
lots of them.
Good.
And it's aging in the right place. So aging in place and aging in the right place, because we're going to talk to families and we're going to see them and I want to age in this place. And they're like, this is not the right place. So
I wanted to talk to that too. I thought that was an incredible speaker. And I know that people, you have the SRES designate and you have the CSA,
yeah,
and
third
you know
caps
how
and silver
Com
spaces. Mhm.
Compass and Ruth Rathkins is a real stickler with that, with her people. Said, I think
Yeah.
it was on the phone, I saw that.
Hmm.
But I talked to Ruth last week and she didn't, we're still having conversation. I said, I really think that this aging in place is a real piece. And she's kind of like, why? And we got to all stay in their own lanes. I go, yeah, but like, if you have an aging in place designate and people are just, because they're just like, what do we do? That's a really good piece of the equation here is of helping them assess that and forming a relationship based on, well, this is what we got now. Like you talk about like, don't talk about what we had. We got to talk about what we got right now. And somebody that's aging in place and saying, yes, if you do all these modifications, you could, it could go left, it could go right, it always can. But somebody that's kind of talking to the family about like, well, this is where you are now. This is where you are now in this home. So you have to like do these modifications, or you have to start looking for places that have already adapted to that. You know, that's
So, so, so you talked to Ruth last week?
I did, but because I after it was off the heels of that call, and I thought, hey, I thought that that's a very important designate that people have looking for, that people should be looking into, because that's where people are starting at that point, right? They haven't
Well,
really
what
decided.
does Ruth think about caps and
Well, I'm just scratching the surface. I didn't feel like she
oh,
saw. I
okay.
don't feel like she saw what I saw.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Amy, do you know that this is Ruth Refkin and her son from Compass? We have a
Well,
lot of
what
Compass.
I think is so interesting is like
Compass Plus.
yeah, what I think is so interesting what's happening in this time is like people are really trying to separate themselves with the knowledge.
Mm.
And but the other piece that you guys don't maybe see every day that I know so intimately and so well is that you're all trying to be professional and get yourself equipped and the knowledge and get integrated in these systems and be a trusted value, a person that people know, like, and trust. the piece of this that I see is that this is a wild, wild west industry that is like focusing and feeding on seniors and their families for the past 30 years. And if you don't understand how fragmented, corrupt, pay to play it is, and if you don't understand the politics of what's going on, then you're really not getting an opportunity to connect with these families that probably would be served better by you.
Can I just ask, when you're talking about the people that are praying, are you talking about the senior housing type of facility? Like who is specifically is?
Yeah, I'm sorry I missed it early, and I don't know, like, Amy, I'm sorry I didn't get to, like, what you did or what your
I'm a real estate agent.
Okay, yeah. Where?
In Chicago, or north
Okay.
of Chicago, the northern suburbs.
Sweet. It's on my
Yeah.
bucket list.
Because I do agree that there is some, like, I think the senior space is so disjointed. There's so many different pieces, even just like trying to put this together for myself and figuring out where resources are and what resources would benefit me to have to be a benefit to other people.
Where
It's
are
like there
you?
are things
Are you
all over.
Are you like, I don't know Chicago though, but like, are you by Chicago land or you're like more in Chicago?
So I'm north of Chicago. I'm the first city north, Evanston. So
Okay.
Evanston in the North Shore. So I'm trying to think if that's so just outside the city.
Well, I'm going to
To
put
the
my
north.
LinkedIn profile in here and then I'm going to connect you with some people in the area and the business that I think could kind of give you like a real good education.
We have a really good, foothold in that area in our network as well.
Yeah,
You
but
do.
what
Okay.
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say is, and then I don't know how to express this, with like, but the biggest feed that you can ever get from seniors in need or needing to make that move, whether it be downsizing, whether it be modifying their home, aging in place, or going to assisted living, is always going to come out of the medical sector because there's always some kind of events or diagnosis or something that happens. And so there is a feeding frenzy, and I'm talking frenzy and that's already happening right now, and it's been happening. And there's like layers from like hospital and doctor system of all these different things, and it'd be home care, and it could be senior living. And a lot of people don't understand hospice. So year after year after year, you're getting less reimbursements on physical therapy, occupational therapy, things like that are eating up Medicare, whether good or bad or whatever. But hospice year after year gets more reimbursement. So what people don't understand is hospice, although a very good organization helping people, but don't get it twisted. It is a dog eat dog, pay to play, fighting over dying bodies every day. It is ugly. And
Commodity.
what I'm trying to say and bring to everybody's attention is like, if you don't get in there, those are the kind of, unfortunately, that's kind of like you have to learn how it works and kind of partner so that you're a resource that's integrated. But if you don't understand what's going on in the medical system every day, which is kind of like your biggest feed in that aging population, and you don't understand the politics that's going on, um, then, and I think like another way is like really getting connected with move managers, people with the hoarding, and stuff like that. And I know that you guys are connected with that, obviously, but like those are kind of like you got to look at the front line people, and you don't want to get into to hospice, but hospice is the first people that sees a hoarding situation and things like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like you kind of have to get, you know, and that you have so many competing companies trying to get the shrinking pile every day. And so what I was trying to bring to like light is saying, yeah, I see what you guys are doing, and you're getting grading in the senior market, but you got to understand how disgusting the senior care market is. And like,
It's a huge commoditization of the demographic, and we're colliding with that because we're these two industries are actually coming together, and
yes,
it's a bit
finally.
of a collision. But Avery, you had your hand up.
Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt you, Jessica. You always have so much value, and I just didn't want to interrupt you. Um, but Amy, I was like, and Jessica talking about the industry. There were, I think, two Chicago Tribune articles that came out, I think, in November, where I just double checked. It was Northwestern and the University of Chicago Medical Center. I don't know if you read those articles where it's a big controversy over guardianship petitions. And those two hospitals in particular, what they have been doing is when people are there for longer than they want them to be there, or they think that their argument is that the health insurance is going to stop paying, and the family says, we're not ready, but the family is, they're involved, they've been visiting every day. And what the hospital does is they go to a law firm, a specific one, and they say, let's get a guardianship. And so it seems like it's quite different than California, where they can have a guardianship company, because in California only a single person can manage someone's health affairs, and even with the new fiduciary law that they were trying, that they still kept that. So I wonder if it sounds like it's different in Chicago,
There's some,
but
I want to talk to that a little bit because what we have seen over time is like people are catching on, they didn't see it. It's like if people are a solo ager and they're in the
yeah,
hospital,
yeah,
then they get
exactly,
the gifting committee to come in, talk to that person while they're
yeah,
in their bed and say,
and the
hey, do you want
paperwork
to
is
sign
sitting
over
there,
your house? This has been going on for
yeah,
years and it's been
yeah,
under the radar. Here's another thing. In 2004, there was a six-piece article, or I don't know how they kind of say that, like in the LA Times that came out and talked about guardianships and fiduciaries. And this is how the professional fiduciary kind of evolved in California around 2004 because people were like serving their neighbors. And they're like, we can't have this going on because it became, it was very, there's bad intentions behind that. So what they did was they created this like stringent um, course or what have you, or license to get it. Here's what's happened on real estate, and I don't know if you guys know this, but like, oh, so when back in 2004, there were so many trust departments and trust officers and banks, and then they were kind of like dealing with seniors and their families and kind of like getting on the kind of the edge of care management, concierge type of thing, and it just got too much to manage. So then they had this like $10 million bar where they said, okay, if you got 10 million or less, we can't even handle it anymore. There's too many problems, and they started referring to fiduciaries, professional fiduciaries. Well, one thing that banks did was after there was a sale of the home, the bank would get 1% of the commission of the homes. Well, now there's not many trust offices. They don't do anymore. Do you know who's getting the 1%? Is the professional fiduciaries. And some of these professional fiduciaries, this is where I think is another thing that's going to come up at some point. The professional fiduciaries have their own partners, and it's like it can't be biased with real estate agents, and they are 100% biased. I've seen the fiduciaries fight in probate court when they're trying to introduce another real estate agent or something, and they're like, nope, 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 cutting it off, cutting it off. I get 75% of the cases in this. We're using this agent, and they will fight until the judge like just bows down. It's like, yeah, what am I going to do? You do 75% of the conservatorships are here. Of course you can use whoever you want. Or like, I don't know how people get,
That's a whole nother nutshell. We should
but
have
that,
a whole
but
episode on that.
but that's what's happening. And that's what's like, it's like who is handling the real estate? And a lot of that is happening because we're looking at this particular group of people that are solar ages, don't have anybody, and that's going through the system.
Hmm.
So, I think everybody should be aware of that like fiduciaries are getting 1%. No offense, Avery, but there's a
no,
little bit of
it's
corruption. There's a little bit
you,
of corruption going on with that too.
you're right, you're right, and there is the 1% thing. The other thing that I personally, from an ethical perspective, feel like the fiduciaries should be billing by hour. And many of them will bill like 2% of the trust value, and that could include the home. And so, if you're not doing that much work during the year, like it's like that's the question, right? And so billing by the hour, and exactly to your point, Jessica, is you're right. They form specific relationships, and this is why I really like this group, is because for me, it's about matching the family with the personality, and not just personality, of course, but the geographic area. of whoever they serve. And so I really like there isn't that diversity of people talking about the SRES agents, because there are, as you know, Jessica, the real estate agents who they call themselves, I only work with fiduciaries, right? And I mean, they have their place, and there are good fiduciaries, there are bad fiduciaries. Some of them have good reputations. But going back to the guardianship thing, like you said, it was a problem in California in 2004. And going back to the Chicago articles, and like you said, they come into the hospital, they have the gifting department. And specifically, the controversy with those was that even though family members were showing up every day, they were still managing to file and then have the judges approve these guardianship petitions, and then all of a sudden they would go to the hospital and they would see paperwork on the side of the bedside and say, "Grandma, what's going on here?" Right? And then grandma, grandpa, mom, dad, they would get moved to a nursing home far away. And there are several cases where the people passed away without their children being able to be there and be present. And so you're right. You're completely right, Jessica, that I think a big part of this is choice, is variety, and matching the families with the right skill sets, and leading with that. Here are the problems. Now let's break it down. And then again, you brought up in a previous meeting the financial literacy part of it, because there's going to be a different amount of financial literacy or different part of it for every different situation. So I completely agree on that perspective.
Amy, if you could put your contact information in the chat, I'd like to talk to you about the Certified Senior Advisor Program. I think it might benefit you, and I just want to let you know about what it is.
We have
I can vouch that CSA.
Well, funny that you mentioned that, because today I have, oh, hold on. I hit the wrong button.
Yeah, you sure did.
Oh, look. We just talked. This is a CSA document, Information for Life. So I'm going to integrate this document. We have this available to us. I'm going to integrate it. Well, first, I'm going to do it for me, because I'm always my own beta. I'm my own customer. Then we can share this with clients. This is just a really good conversation starter and a really good co-branding tool for all of our businesses as a CSA. So that's just a little sample, Amy, of the CSA, little tiny sample. All right, everybody. I think we had a great conversation today. I'm so excited. All right. Okay, just real quickly, I'm going out to a listing appointment for a senior small business owner who is looking to sell their business opportunity. And this is another segment that that's one of my niches, because being a small business owner and talking to other small business owners and working with them and their exit plan. Usually, like most of us entrepreneurs, sole proprietors, service providers, we have small businesses, but do they have exit plans? Have they built a business that they can sell as an asset? This is what I'm going to be talking today about with this client that I'm going to this afternoon. And it's a small segment, but it very, very interesting. So anyway, thanks you guys.
Thank you. Nice to meet you all.
Don't shut off now.
Nice to
I'm
meet you.
copying.
Thank you.
What'd you say, Skip?
Thank you.
Don't shut it off now. I'm copying.
Oh, copying. Okay. Okay. What are you copying?
None of your damn business.
I have everybody, including Amy. Amy, are you on the senior call with us?
Yes, I have done some of those. Yeah.
Amazing.
Okay, I got it.
Okay. All right,
Both,
everybody.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank
see you
you.
next week.
See you
Thank
next
you.
week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.